All right, the Steelers lose 20-10. They're 4-3, which ties them with both the Bengals and the Browns. Behind the Ravens, 2 games in front are Baltimore. But Steelers got a problem, Andrew, and that is they can't run the ball and they can't stop the run.
Yeah.
How do they stop? How do they change this dynamic? Because Travis Etienne was taking 1 pick behind Najee Harris, and a lot of people think maybe that was the wrong move.
And I called that from the very beginning. Mark's taking a victory lap for Mason Rudolph. I said the Najee Harris pick was a terrible one.
Would you have taken Etienne, though?
No, I wouldn't have taken a running back at all, but Etienne is clearly the better player because Etienne does things that fit the modern NFL, where he catches the ball out of the backfield for explosive plays, too, as he did.
Well, Najee did his first year of the job.
The Rams game, did you not think watching the Rams game that those announcers were under the impression that Jaylen Warren was going to start? How many times did they talk about in that broadcast that Tomlin talked to them in a production meeting about coming out of the bye and giving Warren more of an opportunity?
Maybe they
Look,
did.
I don't think Warren's going to run the ball much better behind this line, especially with the way defenses are playing them. But you have to admit there's a different element that he brings. And I'd like to see them start the game, not just on 3rd and 8 with him on a first drive. Let's see what he can do with more opportunity.
You saw what the Rams did. They stopped the run first because the quarterback wasn't. They didn't fear Kenny last week. Until you have a quarterback can beat you consistently down the field, open receivers, they're going to keep trying to stack the box. You saw 7, 8, 9 guys in the box, and nobody's going to run against him. With Najee, he just drives you nuts. I mean, last week he was running hard. This week it looked like I could have beat him in the race. He just doesn't.
I know.
It just. You
So
talk about bad,
you want to start
language.
a running back? Maybe you should start a running back at bowling.
You know,
little Ironhead.
you know what? I ran one time in like junior high and got whacked, and that was enough for me.
I mean, part of the problem today was predictability. They come out, they throw the ball the first drive, they have a couple drops, go 3 and out, and you knew when they came out for that second drive, first down handoff, second down handoff. That's part of the problem. Defensively, getting 97 on the field would help, but he's not going to come back on a short week. I mean, I think Green Bay is probably a reasonable expectation. But yeah, that's part of the problem. Like, they can't catch up sometimes because they're getting plowed. It's weird to me. Like, they can't live this life forever. They're won 7 straight one-score games, and in games decided by 10 more points, they're like 1-6. And today was the day for them to look like a playoff team on the field and not the standings, and they failed it miserably.
Let's talk about what's next. It's a short week, Mark. They got Will Levis. Now, I didn't expect him to be in his first NFL start throwing 4 touchdown passes, and they were rockets down the field. 3 to DeAndre Hopkins. This is a short week, plus they have, everybody forgets Derrick Henry rushed for over 100 yards again today. Now, they got problems, don't they? That's a tough team. I didn't think it would be tough at the beginning of the season.
I know it's the preseason, but I remember in the preseason when Kenny Pickett picked apart the Atlanta defense as well. So we have to put that in perspective. I mean, Will Levis, 1 game. Okay, he had a good game. The short week is hard for young guys, young quarterbacks to be able to acclimate themselves to this. It's going to be very vanilla. That's why you probably would have loved to have Kenny Pickett. You remember in the olden days.
Yeah, but their vanilla might be 30 Derrick Henry touches.
Well,
that's a nice vanilla.
That's pretty good.
But you remember in the olden days with Ben, they would just run a lot of no-huddle stuff because he could call stuff at the line. They can't do that
But where is that in this offense?
There is no.
Should have started the game like that, I thought, today.
They did once when they threw the ball to Pickens and they tried to run up and get snapped.
Is it they don't think Kenny's equipped to run it?
I guess not.
Is it the offensive coordinator doesn't want to give up control? I mean, it's ridiculous.
But you're at a point right now, you're scoring 7 points a game.
I don't know. I mean, we might as well.
You take control.
That game is going to be ugly. It's going to be 16-13 because every time they play these guys, with the exception of like the Ben 6 touchdown game, or that's what it is. It's going to be every game this season is going to be 16-13, 2017 with the coin flip against the mediocre teams, and then against the good teams, they're going to, they're going to get drilled.
The scary thing today is that the Bengals offense with Burrow went to San Francisco. And their defense dominated San Francisco's offensive line. We saw how good they were in week 1. They look like they're back.
They're back, and also, I got to say this. Whatever you want to say about Walker, quarterback for, they don't have Watson, they don't have Chubb, and yet they almost beat Seattle today. And
should have beat Seattle.
So they're a team, and the Ravens are at 6-2. Now you're in the hole already, Mark.
You got Titans and Packers. You can.
Yeah,
but they have proven they can beat average teams because they are an average team. So we could be here in 2 weeks from now saying they're 6-4, right?
6-3.
6-3 with a tough stretch coming down the road.
Browns
right?
at Bengals.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but that doesn't mean they're a good team. They're still not.
The more I watch the Browns, the more I think Stefanski is Brandon Staley with a beard. Like the ways that they find to lose games. Like they gave the game here away. They gave the game away today in Seattle by having him throw at the 2-minute warning.
Right, they didn't need to do that.
You know, and this great defense with the great Myles Garrett let him go right down the field for a touchdown. So I'm not worried about the Browns so much, but if this is going to be a fringe wild card team, if that's what we could say maybe best case, right? I mean, I was optimistic. I thought they'd be 11-6 this year. I'd say that's probably maybe a little over zealous, but who knows? Maybe Tennessee catches lightning in a bottle with this guy, and this is a playoff elimination game for them.
Don't feel bad. Somebody on this panel picked him to go to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. We'll go to the Super Bowl, not win it.
We have long memories on this stuff.
Hey, I picked Philly to win it. That's not a bad pick right now.
No, Philly's a good team. And by the way, how about Sam Howell? You know, we talk about quarterbacks being taken.
He's up
this
and
guy,
down.
Huh?
He's like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. He could throw 4 touchdowns. He could throw 4
But
picks.
he's a young kid. He got in there and he makes things happen. He lets
For both
it fly.
teams, is what I'm saying.
I mean, they
4
scored
touchdowns,
all
1
of 7
interception
points
today.
last week, Pomp. I know you might have made some money today with them, but let's let's not get carried away.
All right, we're going to take a break on that note. I need to.
His wife heard.
Sorry, Lisa. You can still get what you want. Don't worry. When we come back, we're going to talk about Pitt. They got shellacked. And then something Pat Narduzzi said is not going over so well with his players. We'll talk about it next.